supporting companies that are more value driven it's better for everyone. It's better for the consumer. It's better for the people that are making the product or service, for their families, for the environment. I hope that this program can highlight that because of the success stories that we show throughout our women that go through. They're able to support themselves. They're able to support their families, and they're not extractive. They're contributing something positive and continuing down the road that we are, where corporate interest is controlling many things. It's hurting everyone. And it's a big problem to solve. It will take time, but every person that we choose to support is contributing toward that goal.
Welcome, changemakers, to Voices of Impact, where we burst through the bubbles of indifference and shine a light on the pressing issues shaping our world. I'm your host, Audrina, and each week we bring you inspiring stories from the front lines of change. We'll meet the incredible founders of nonprofits who are tirelessly working to solve the challenges that matter most. Through their voices, we awaken to the realities around us, inspire social responsibility, and empower you to take action, whether it's by volunteering, donating, or simply spreading the word. Together, let's build a more compassionate and engaged world. Tune in and be part of the change. It starts right now. And today I am with Darian Siguenza, the Program Director at FoundHer. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm so glad we're able to talk today.
To kick us off, who are you? What is your mission with FoundHer? And then why should people keep listening?
Who am I is a big question. In summary, I am the director of FoundHer, like you mentioned. I am a mom of a 1-year-old daughter. I am a creative and I am a beachgoer. I live in Hawaii, and I'm also a foodie as well. I work within a nonprofit right now, and the nonprofit is called the Purple Maia Foundation. Purple Maia has several programs, and so FoundHer, which I direct, is just one of many. We focus on supporting Native Hawaiian, Asian, and Pacific Islander women-owned small businesses here in Hawaii. And people should keep listening because we are actually the only accelerator in the nation that does this. We have a very unique model where we offer both funding for a grant, and we also offer a family care stipend, and then we have this specific focus.
Very cool. What personal experiences or challenges led you to become passionate about this cause?
Yeah, so I have worked within the startup realm for, going on like 6 years now. So I kind of fell into it accidentally. I'm from Los Angeles originally, moved to Hawaii in 2017. I have family roots out here and I wanted to pursue a master's degree. So I got connected through my master's program to another startup accelerator out here. And I absolutely loved it. It was kind of unexpected and set me on this new career path. I went back to LA for a little bit and I was working at another startup program there. And I just realized through a lot of the events that I was going to, a lot of the programs that I was witnessing and programs that I was managing, there really was a lack of representation of different types of people. And so I'm very mixed, but I'm partially Pacific Islander. And so I really wasn't seeing many women in these rooms of startup founders and investors. And I really wasn't seeing many women of color. And so it wasn't sitting right with me that I was continuing to support organizations that weren't supporting people like me and women. So I was looking for other opportunities, and then FoundHer popped up on my LinkedIn. It was in just the very beginning idea stages, and they were looking for someone to come on and bring it to life. And so that's how I came to this role. And it's just important to me to increase representation of startup founders that are women, that are diverse, but also to provide them funding because that is absolutely needed.
Yeah, it's a crucial aspect of being able to get your business off the ground too. So it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
What have you learned about yourself through this journey?
I think I've learned that I'm capable more than I thought I was. When I joined, it was essentially a team of one, me. So I had management and advisors that were really supportive and guided me in the beginning, of course. But as far as the day-to-day operations goes, it was all me. I look back at that time. Now I have a small team of 3, so that's exciting. But I look back at that time and I think about how much we were really able to accomplish in those formative first 2 years. And so,
Yeah.
it just made me realize, like, if I'm really passionate about something, I commit the time to it, I can do anything.
It definitely adds to that self-confidence too, and then being able to impact other female founders in finding that
Definitely.
confidence too. What are some of the programs that you guys have with FoundHer?
So we've got a couple of different types of support we offer. Our core program, FoundHer, is 6 months long, and it offers curriculum on different business development topics like marketing, branding, website development, scaling manufacturing, fundraising, you name it. There's a lot of different topics we cover in the 6 months. We also offer one-on-one mentorship. So people that are in different industries, such as accountants or lawyers, or say you were a consumer packaged goods company, we can match you up with somebody that's in a similar industry to help guide you along the 6-month journey. We also offer a $20,000 grant, and it's non-dilutive, so we don't take any equity in the company. And then we also offer a $4,000 Ohana Care family care stipend for those that need it. So when FoundHer was designed, the intention was to support Native Hawaiian, Asian Pacific Islander women here in Hawaii in a program that's rooted in Hawaiian culture and values. We also wanted to support women in the multiple roles that they play, which is why that family care stipend was so important. Going off of the culturally rooted piece a bit more, once a month we meet in person and we gather on a different island each time. We'll introduce our cohort members to leaders in the community, whether they be cultural practitioners or other entrepreneurs. We engage in different culturally rooted activities, so they could be working in the Aina, the land, or different types of protocol that we do to understand the land and the space that we're coming into as we enter each island. And so those are really fun opportunities to really build relationships within the cohort. That's something that most of the women say is their number one biggest takeaway when they leave, is that they feel like they formed like a sisterhood and they found a supportive network where entrepreneurship can be isolating at times if you don't have people in your family or your immediate circle that do that. So that's the core program. Other than that, we do events to support our community at large. We accept 7 companies per cohort, but to date, we've had close to 750 applicants. And so it's been a huge, huge community that's come forward, that's showed interest in our program. And so while we can't support everyone in the core program, we offer things like pop-up markets, networking events. Our newsletter shares just different funding resources. So we try to connect with everyone else that applied and offer support in that way.
That's amazing. You guys have so much going on. One question that popped up for me while you were talking is about the cultural aspect, because you mentioned it a couple of times. Coming from LA to Hawaii, I know that you said that you have family and you have the Pacific Islander roots. What are some of the cultural differences that you've experienced between like the LA startup scene and the Hawaii startup scene?
Yeah, it's so different. What I saw at large, of course, this is a generalization, but what I was experiencing was many of these companies were primarily profit driven. Some were thinking of their environmental impact as an afterthought, kind of more so doing it because it was the trendy thing or the right thing to do, and just kind of wanting to check that as a box for their business. I didn't see a true spiritual connection with the land. I mean, I can't remember any times growing up in LA that I would hear people having discussions about the land that we were on and where it came from and what ancestors were there and all of that. So then when I started working in the startup scene out here, I saw that that was the forefront. That's the first thing that people are thinking about. So while they may not label themselves as a clean tech or a sustainable company, that's naturally woven into everything that they do because they are rooting themselves in those Hawaiian values, which is extremely important to care for the land, because that's like a relative, right? That's like where you came from, it's who sustains you. So you have to do the same in return. And so when I see like what the company's focuses are out here, it's like many people I talk to, they don't even want to charge for what they're doing because they just want to offer it as a service for community. But of course they want to support themselves. So they want to learn, how do you do both? How do you care for community, care for land, but also care for your family and yourself? So I think, the intention of like what you lead with in LA versus here in Hawaii is very different.
And something that I'm going to go ahead and say it, more people need to lean into how Hawaii is looking at that, because we
Yeah.
only get one Earth. And if we're not taking care of it, we're going to absolutely destroy it. We've actively been destroying it for years. So I think that that's something that should absolutely be adopted into more. What's the impact? And I know something that we actually talk about at Summit Chasers, which I don't talk much about on Voices of Impact, but is working with businesses and having a reason that's bigger than profit.
Mm-hmm.
There should be, whether it's like wanting to create jobs within your community, or the work that you're actually doing is helping to solve a problem for humans or animals or whatever it might be. Impact driven businesses outside of profit have a much higher success rate, because like money can only encourage really the top of a company, I think, not necessarily the employees, right? Because they're not seeing as big of benefits as the founder, the C-suite, whatever it might be. So I think if you are impact driven, you then are going to attract an entirely different group of people who are also impact driven, who then will allow your company to grow and reach that impact goal, because everybody's going to be bought in, because it's not just about making money. So I think that is very cool, that that's naturally just a focus for these founders within Hawaii that you guys support.
I witnessed that, like everything you just described, I've seen. I see that even within my own organization, like the Purple Maia Foundation, our nonprofit as a whole, this is the longest I've ever stayed with the company, because I see, like you're saying, I see how everything is done with intention and has a greater purpose. And that makes me want to continue working. It's not like previous places that I've worked where when I start to learn a bit more about leadership's true intentions, like you're describing, I don't want to stay. And so, I 100% agree that that's something more people should adopt.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say is one of the most memorable moments or experiences that you've had while working with the women within FoundHer?
Oh, that's so hard. It's so many great memories.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow it down, because when we do these in-person retreats, so many special things happen. I'll just share one that comes up. So in this past cohort, our third, we went to Maui. We were so lucky that we got to visit one of our cohort members' family homes. They welcomed us in. It was so special. They brought us into their backyard area. We had a really amazing conversation with her parents, her sister-in-law, her brother. They're actually farmers on Maui, and they're working on, just increasing the food sovereignty and food resiliency here. We import way more food than we should. And it's actually scary if, God forbid, something happened and, we weren't able to get food in the ports or in the planes. Like I think it's something like 70-80% of the food is imported, maybe even more than that. So anyways, her family is working on addressing that issue. It was just beautiful. They brought us in, they taught us about their family history. We got to see the farm that they built in their backyard, which inspired them to start an even bigger one in a different piece of land. They cooked for us. They made us some incredible spinach artichoke dip with kalo in it. It was just incredible. It made me see, when you meet like people's family and you have a better understanding of who they are. And I saw like parts of the founder, Anohea. I saw parts of her in all four of these people, and I just felt so honored that they welcomed us into their space like that. So I think we have several times throughout the cohort, something really special like that will happen. And I think that like really builds the bond between all of us.
Absolutely. That would have been such an amazing experience. And again, it just opened your eyes. Like, yes, you're learning so much more about her, but then it also opens your eyes up to other issues that are out there. Like, they're working to solve the food crisis that Hawaii could potentially be in if, like you said, those ports get shut. So I think that just constantly finding ways to expose yourself to new situations or new people that you hadn't previously mixed with, just so that you can learn about what's going on out there, is really the goal, right? Because the more aware we are, then we can start to get involved in ways and maybe realize that we're passionate about something that we didn't even know was a problem. Like, I had no idea that Hawaii had 70 to 80% of their food imported. Not a clue,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't
Mm-hmm.
live there. So like it's natural that I wouldn't have that understanding. But knowing it now, it's like,
Right.
okay, that's an interesting thing to understand and to think about. So yeah, that piece is so important as we just navigate through life on a regular basis. What actions can people take within their own communities to support other female founders?
So low-hanging fruit would be to make it a priority to buy from the local
Mhm.
small business owners. That's an easy thing that anyone can do any day, whether that be an online purchase or an in-person purchase. The ideal would be that, especially in Hawaii, think about these large corporations coming in and taking over. Many regions can relate to that, I'm sure. Intentionally purchasing from them whenever you can, I think it's something very easy everyone can do. And then for those that maybe have a bit more money to spend, something that we've been talking about is getting together a community investment fund. So whatever it might be, I mean, even a couple $100, if you pool it with people in your community and make investments into those small businesses. I think that that's something that anyone can do as well. Any dollar amount is meaningful to these
Yeah.
startup owners. I think also if you are aware of organizations like mine, any nonprofits or any other orgs that support small businesses, they're always in need of volunteers to put the programming together. So if you're aware of them, just offering to lend time is incredibly helpful as well.
I just want to highlight one of the things you said because I've never actually heard of that idea before and I love it. So within whether it could even be like within your friend group, within your neighborhood, within your
Yes.
community, if you want to go a little bit wider, that is such a cool idea about finding a small business that you love, that maybe some of your friends love it too, and you guys literally just come together
Mhm.
and donate what you can. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. If all it is $20, it's $20. But getting your
Right.
group together and then showing up to this local business and saying, we want to donate to this to you to support you, whether it's purchasing, like maybe they don't have anything for you to purchase, but just showing that support and investing back into them is such a cool idea. So I wanted to highlight that because, like I said, I hadn't heard of it. And I talk to nonprofit founders all the time. So I love
Oh
that
yeah.
that is an idea that we've just been able to shed light on. But okay, going to
Yeah.
the volunteer opportunities, what does volunteering for FoundHer look like?
So we have a lot of events. We're always doing events, whether they be opening and closing event for the cohort where we do a celebration for them, or when we do our pop-up markets that happen on a quarterly basis, our networking events that happen on a quarterly basis. We're always in need of people to just help us with basic logistics. So
Mm.
just setting up chairs, getting food out, whatever, picking up food or, running errands, whatever it may be, just to put the event together smoothly. Nothing crazy, but every hand helps it all get done faster and smoother. Then you're in the opportunity after all the setup is over to just hang out and enjoy the event. We love when people come and volunteer because they get to engage with our startup founders, or they get to sit in on whatever the conversation is that we're talking about during the networking events, or they get to come in and have fun at the pop-up market and listen to music and just go down to the different booths and meet everybody. So yeah, we have events, I feel like at least once a month. So there's
Yeah.
plenty of opportunities for people to join in.
And where are you guys? I know we know that you're in Hawaii, but what island are you guys on?
Our events are primarily on Oahu. So those pop-up markets I mentioned, they are primarily here, but we just started expanding. So we just had one on Maui. We're having one in March on the Big Island. We're trying to expand our reach, but we also do some virtually for those that can't join in that physical location.
That's actually something that I would love to ask about is your cohorts, do they have to be founders within Hawaii on the ground, like trying to do something there, or could they be in the mainland and then use your program because they are still Pacific Islanders? How does that work?
That's a common question we get asked. So you have to actually physically be based here. So
Okay.
if your company is operating here and the founder lives here, well, it's okay if the founder is maybe like part-time living here, part-time living somewhere else. But for the duration of the program, they have to physically be here and the company has to be based here.
Got it. And then for listeners who might want to support financially, what does a donation to your organization help achieve?
So if someone wanted to support us, we would be incredibly grateful for that. So foundher.org, there is a link where you can click to donate. What will happen is we'll get notified of that donation. We'll reach out to you. If there's something specific that someone wants to donate to, for example, we give that $20,000 grant to each company. If someone is like, hey, I want my money to go toward that grant, or if they are like, hey, I want to, I see that you have a Maui company, I'm on Maui, I want to support the startup that's on Maui, we can absolutely do that. We can allocate the funding toward a specific company or for a specific portion of the program. Or if they say, hey, I want to use this money to pay for like mentors to come in or whatever it may be. If the person didn't have a specific aspect of the program that they wanted to fund, then whatever our gap is at that time, we would fill that. So whether that be operational costs or salaries or flights or things of that nature. But, it does take a significant investment for us to run the program, but it's worth it because I do want to mention that our main goal is that each company achieves a 100 to 300% revenue increase within 1 year of joining the program. And on average, all of our companies have achieved that or exceeded that. It is providing results. The investment that people make in FoundHer is really translating into revenue increase and job creation for these companies.
That's an amazing success rate too. That's incredible.
Thanks.
If you could see one major change in the world as a result of your work, what would it be?
I would want people to see that the impact, especially in a community like this where you can really see it very clearly, the impact that corporate interest has really severely affects the people that live here. Supporting companies that are more value driven it's better for everyone. It's better for the consumer. It's better for the people that are making the product or service, for their families, for the environment. It's really the answer to don't get me started on climate change and all the stuff that's happening politically, but it's really the answer for how we're going to be able to have a more thriving economy that has a positive impact on the land and the people. I hope that this program can highlight that because of the success stories that we show throughout our women that go through. They're able to support themselves, they're able to support their families, and they're not extractive. They're contributing something positive and continuing down the road that we are where, corporate interest is controlling many things. It's hurting everyone. And it's a big problem to solve. It will take time, but every person that we choose to support is contributing toward that goal.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's really important. If we can lean into these smaller local businesses, it will have such a drastic impact on so many different things. So hugely important. Final question for you. If you could inspire our change makers to just take one action today that would make a difference, what would it be?
Keeping it simple, I would say just whatever you do today, if you're going to get coffee, don't go to Starbucks, go to a mom and pop cafe or something. If you're going to go shopping, try checking out a local boutique. If you want to get your nails done, maybe try looking for like a nail tech that's on Instagram and, doesn't have like a large facility, people that are just up and coming. Like I would just weave that into your daily tasks. So you're not doing something that's adding difficulty to your day. It's just something that's already in your schedule. You're just tweaking it a little bit to support somebody in your community.
Shop local, get involved locally, and start making a difference in the communities that you live in. Darian, thank you so much. Do you have anything else that you want to add? And then also let everybody know where they can find you.
I'm just so grateful that you reached out to me and we're connected. I'm so grateful to everyone that listened to this podcast. Thank you for supporting what we do. You can go to foundher.org, and we also have an Instagram at Hi, short for Hawaii, HI FoundHer. That's where we update everything. We also have a newsletter on our website that goes out monthly, and we share a lot of resources for small businesses. So if you are one, check it out. But I'm just grateful to everyone for listening, and thank you. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Changemakers, for tuning in to Voices of Impact. You've just heard about another amazing cause, and it's time to turn that inspiration into action. Whether it's volunteering your time, donating to a cause, or simply sharing what you've learned, every action counts. Your involvement helps to build stronger communities and a better world. And for those of you who want to make an even bigger impact, we have a special opportunity. If you or your company would like to sponsor Voices of Impact, not only will you be supporting this platform, but a portion of your sponsorship will be donated each month to one of the incredible nonprofits that we've featured. Your support will help these organizations continue their vital work, extending their reach of their impact even further. Join us in making a difference. Visit at Voices of Impact by Audrina on Instagram to learn more about sponsorship opportunities, and together, let's continue to spark change. Until next time, Changemakers, let's keep the momentum going. Subscribe now and join the movement.